Okay, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Yes.
Hello, can you see
Yeah.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
All right.
Yes, we are live. So let me just send the link to them, to people to show that we are live. Yes, we are live. So let me just send the link to them, to people to show that we are live. Yes, we are live. So let me just send the link to them. Okay.
There's some echo.
Yep. Okay. So let me. Um, okay. Let me open the live stuff. Okay. Let me send. Let me send to Twitter too. People will join now. Yeah, people are joining already. Okay. So hopefully people will join us. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you. If you are here, please let us know how many are here, how many watching. Thank you so much for joining. I can see who is here already. Yeah, people are joining here. Thank you. Thank you.
You look like you're inside studio.
Okay, yeah, guys are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. 8 people are watching us now. Thank you. Let me uh, let me send. Let me send again so that we are still waiting. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Let me send it to all groups. Okay. Thank you so guys so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for coming to this Japa with D1. Thank you. You're all welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you. With me here, I have Dr. Rita E. Okorafor. So thank you, Doctor. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for honoring this invitation. Thank you so much. Let me read Doctor's profile so that you guys will be able to know the kind of person I'm interviewing today. Okay, so Dr. Rita Esuru Okorafor is a postdoctoral scholar at Stanford University. Before embarking on a PhD at Stanford University, Energy Resources Engineering Department, she was a principal reservoir engineer with Schlumberger. She garnered 13 years of, please note that, she garnered 13 years of oil and gas experience in several roles and locations. Dr. Okorafor is an avid SPE and geothermal rising volunteer. She was a recipient of the SPE Africa Region Reservoir Dynamics and Description Award, SPE International Young Mentor Member Outstanding Service Award 2016, and XPE Africa Region Young Member Outstanding Service Award. Dr. Okorafor is passionate about mentorship and is an advocate of diversity, equity, inclusion. She is known for her grit, tenacity, and excellent people and time management skills. She's an author of 2 novels. Wow. And is married with 4 children. Please, guys, help me clap for Dr. Rita as she joins us today. Doctor, thank you for coming. Thank you.
It's
Thank you
my
so much.
pleasure. It's my pleasure, D1. You know, I'm very passionate about people. I'm very passionate about mentorship of people and any opportunity to be able to share my journey, I look forward to doing that. In fact, somebody told me I should start a YouTube channel. I told the person that, look, managing my life as a wife, a mother, and 4 children, I don't yet have that time to do the YouTube channel. So thank you, D1, for sharing that brief biography of me, bio. But I can tell you something just to put things in context, because a lot of people ask me, why did I do my PhD at such an advanced stage in my life? I lost my father when I was 13 in a very brutal way, and it was very difficult going to school. And being coming from a family with several children, you know how it is, how African people have families, you know. Um, it was tough. It was really, really tough. So being able to manage and complete secondary school, go to university was a struggle by itself. And then once there was opportunity to work, even though I had this dream of doing my PhD, it was I have to go and work to get money and also support the family that the younger ones we have behind. And so when all the younger ones had graduated from university, it was then I remembered I had my dream and I wanted to go ahead and pursue my PhD.
Wow.
And so that is when I went. Um, my husband has been tremendously supportive. I call him a women's ally because he's just somebody that wants me to fulfill my dreams, fulfill my passions. And I can see that without having that kind of support, doing the PhD when I did would have also been a struggle.
Wow.
What else would I say? And every disappointment is a blessing. We maybe if I had applied earlier, I may not have gotten it. I don't know, but I did my PhD in geothermal energy,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't have done many years back if I was to choose. And I'm very grateful for that experience because it exposed me more into the concept of energy and made
Yeah.
me know beyond oil and gas, and now has was like a stepping stone towards what I'm doing now in my post doctoral work right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. If I may ask, let's start from the beginning. Thank you for that um, that very nice intro. I want to ask, in like people would like to know about your journey for sure, but can you tell us a brief about your undergraduate journey, courses, degree, and then what gave you? I mean, what made you want to go for a postgrad study? Yes, like you said, you mentioned it, but can you just tell us so that people who are here can understand why postgrad degree, and can you give us a brief about your undergrad? Where did you finish
Okay.
from and stuff
So
like that?
I did my undergrad at University of Port Harcourt, Department of Petroleum Engineering. I graduated in 2002 with a
Wow.
2-1. I did a lot of courses, reservoir engineering, my mathematics, my whatever I did, and well, I eventually came out with a 2-1.
Wow.
It was a very interesting experience as well, but I noticed that there was a lot more I wanted. I wanted to know more. I wanted to know deeper. I wanted to know some things. When you come to class, they will tell you, and there's this equation that shows flow is from A to B. I wanted to know, how do you derive these equations? What are the principles behind these equations? I just didn't want to take an equation and solve and
Okay.
apply. I wanted to know more. Um, that was the kind of mind I had. And even when I went to work, it was the same kind of thing. So it's just this idea of knowing more,
Mm,
knowing deeper.
mm,
And I also wanted people to know, because when I learned something, I found out that there could be an easier way of passing this knowledge to other
sure.
people.
True.
I wanted to pass it on to people in an easier way. And I felt, what are the steps I needed to take to become perhaps a professor, to
Mm,
be in academia? What do I
yeah.
need to do? Because if I'm not going towards that direction, I'm not sure there's I would really be so insistent about a PhD,
Mm,
so I just had to. The PhD was driven by my ambition what I wanted to do, what had always been my dream to do, and the fact that I wanted to know more. So those were the two driving forces. I remember
Oh.
interviewing for an oil company, and they
Mm.
asked me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 5 or 10 years?" I said, "I'll be teaching people about um, just teaching them what I know." And to them, they could see that this is somebody that was that likes academia.
Mm.
But for me, I didn't see that this was the wrong thing to say in an interview. I'm supposed to pretend and kind of lie that I'll be managing people, but I said no, I'll be teaching.
Wow.
So now that I look back, I'm like, me, I wasn't really thinking, but I was just being myself, and everybody could see that this was something I was passionate about.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you can. It's so clear now that this is what your passion says. I mean, you just want to know more and learn more. Okay. Let me quickly throw a question here for someone. For an average Nigerian, people who are here,
Hmm.
the passion really is not to know more and learn more. Honestly, yeah, I'm someone who is very very raw and I go straight to the point. I don't try to package anything. People who know me know me. Many people don't have that zeal to. But
Hmm.
what can they do? Um, what should they learn that drive? Should they get that drive for themselves so that they can move on? Because in your own case, from what you are saying now, against all odds, you have your dreams inside of you, and then you are ready to go any length to let that dream get accomplished. What advice do you have for people out there? Let's start from there first.
Okay. Should Let me tell you, your
Because my YouTube
passion.
channel is Japa. People want to Japa. It's as simple as that, basic.
So, no, I'll tell you something. Your passion,
Mhm.
your passion is like one kind of adrenaline inside you
Okay.
that will spoil you and will keep you going,
Mm.
in the face of challenges.
Mm.
And I'll get back to this later. Now, if somebody's passion is, I want to get out of the country, that is your drive.
Okay.
Any opportunity you see that is saying go out of the country, you will just put your hand and your leg there.
Okay.
Okay. So that is an opportunity. If education is that stepping stone for you to go out,
Okay.
please use education to go out.
Okay.
Now the thing is, when you are in your where you are, you are as good as what you know.
Okay.
If we want to go and improve anything back home, we cannot we will be able to do more because we have seen how things work in different areas.
Okay.
So for instance, having schooled at Stanford University, I
Okay.
see tremendous opportunity for transforming the educational sector in Nigeria,
Mm.
especially the university at the university level and
Okay.
postgraduate level. So
Okay.
that's the value of going out. So
Wow.
if that is somebody's dream, just go out. You may be able to learn how they do startups. You may be able to learn how to transform the health sector.
Mm.
You would be able to learn, and
Mm.
this is something that, I mean, we don't have to be doing it ourselves. What I would be expecting naturally from the government is you identify people that you can sponsor, go out, go and get an education somewhere and come back, educate the younger ones, and also bring value to the country.
Oh,
That's what I would have expected.
thank
And
you.
my father was one of those people in those days that once you graduate, they say, this person, we need to take you, go, we are sponsoring you straight, go
Yeah.
out of the country, go and learn there, then come back and teach our people.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that I would expect. So going out, if you want to go out, go out, but you will find out that you will learn a lot, much
Absolutely.
more than just education. There's so
Mm.
many things you will learn.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, man. Okay. Now, how did you move out of Nigeria? Let's start from there. You are presently in Stanford University as a postdoctoral student. I will not call you a student. You are no longer a student. You are a boss. Maybe you know the package that thing.
Okay,
Okay.
just for short, just call it postdoc because
Oh,
I
yeah,
finished
postdoc.
doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
let's just say
finished
postdoc.
doctorate. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so how did you move out of Nigeria? What did you do? Let's start
Hmm.
from there. How exactly did you move out of Nigeria?
My own part.
Your own personal story, yes.
I woke
How did you move?
I woke up one morning.
Mm-hmm.
I told my husband that if I have to do a PhD,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do it outside of Nigeria.
Okay.
I wanted to do it in a very good school.
Okay.
And when I checked all the very good schools, they
Okay.
had GRE requirements, they had TOEFL requirements,
Okay.
they had all those, all those requirements. So I first of all went and found out what were the requirements for the kind of schools I wanted. And I identified the places I'll be applying to.
Okay.
When I found out all those things, I said, okay, I have to write GRE, I have to write TOEFL, etc. I started preparing for those things. I can
Mm.
tell you that when I wrote my first GRE, the scores were nothing to write home about.
Okay.
And, and I spent money traveling to the place to write that exam.
Wow.
So after writing it and the scores were not even minimum requirement for anything, I came back, and I really thought about it. I said, I have to change my strategy for
Okay.
studying for this exam. I
Okay.
cannot use the brain of when I was it's not the same approach. It's for me, I don't think the exam was actually testing how smart you are, but
Mm.
how are you able to decipher some things. People that maybe play chess or people that do puzzles, maybe they can decipher these things easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was basically it.
Mm.
So I had to change my approach. I gave myself time and I went back and rewrote the exams.
Wow.
I was heavily pregnant when I went to write my second GRE. I
Wow.
remember, and because I'm this kind of person during pregnancy, I salivate a lot. And they said, "You're not bringing any liquid." I told them, "Please, people should just allow me this one bottle. I need this one bottle to be filling while
Wa-
I'm solving my stuff."
Wow.
And so, yes, it was that challenging.
Wow.
I prepared for my second GRE when I was pregnant and wrote
Wow.
it when I was pregnant.
Wow.
And after doing that, the TOEFL was much easier because by the
Yeah.
time you prepare for GRE English, your English, you would know how to speak English.
Yeah.
You know this word. So now it's now just how to prepare, how to voice it out, or how to understand what they are saying. So I also went through that. So I wrote the TOEFL was okay, no challenges. GRE I wrote, and I got a score that I said after this one I cannot do this thing again. Because when you go into that hall, I don't know what they are thinking. They will just change everything you read in your practice. You are getting full, complete scores, perfect scores. When you reach there, I don't understand how it happens. You will finish the score, you will see that score, and you're like, it does not correlate.
Yeah.
So that was it. So GRE, then the SOP, the statement of purpose. This is what I would say is the gateway between you and anybody you're talking to. Because
Yeah.
the people that are in the panel are not, they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So I wrote my first one, sent it to friends of mine who had gotten admission into university. And
Okay.
the feedback they gave, my whole SOP was in red.
Wow.
Like me, that I am a writer, that I write. I'm an author now. They
Yeah.
they read my SOP. I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. And so they told me that look, when you're writing your SOP, just sell yourself. You are not
Mm.
bragging. Just sell yourself. Everything you're good at. And be be consistent about who you are, what your passions are. Be able to tell a story that people can follow
Mm.
and 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 kind of relate with you. You want to captivate these people. In fact,
Mm.
my sister said people they are even moved by they want to be moved by emotional stories, according
Wow.
to my sister. So just take them on your journey. What's your journey? What's your story? What's your drive?
Mm.
And they now relate with you. And then they're not able to say, okay, this is somebody that I want to meet. I want to have this person with me. So this is the purpose of that your SOP. It's just
Mm.
to speak for you where nobody can speak for you.
Wow.
Very important.
Okay.
Can't stress it. So yes, so I'm very grateful for the feedback. So you can't assume that what you write is good enough. So got the feedback from the people, keywords that need to be inside the SOP, and
Mm.
I prepared my package.
Wow.
Um, It's very expensive applying to schools, especially when you have to be paying application fees.
Yeah.
And I had to limit it. I had to limit it to, okay, these are the set of schools that I can apply for based on
Okay.
the amount of resources I have. And if to anybody that is trying to apply, I would just say look for schools too that are waiving application fees because it's very
Okay.
helpful.
Okay.
Then transcript matter. To get transcript was a challenge.
Mm.
And so I would just tell people as you're graduating, try and just be getting your transcript ready. I hope that
Mm.
most universities are moving to very digital technology so that
Wow.
this transcript issue will not be a problem.
Mm.
Some other universities said when they have accepted you, that's when they will ask for your transcript. And Stanford did that, and I was very grateful for it. So
Yeah.
it was more like if they accept you, then you can now go through that stress of looking for transcripts. So that gave me a lot of lead time
Wow.
in that. So yes, so GRE, TOEFL, SOP,
Okay.
transcript, and
Okay.
application fees. So that was what everything was all about. So there will be questions that you would have to fill during
Mm.
applications. You just have to take your time out to answer those questions. And I was expatiate a bit about this because every university has a different requirement.
Mm.
So don't be trying to fill your application a day or two before it's time the deadline is approaching. Give yourself enough time so that you can prepare your responses in certain
Mm.
areas. Some may ask for a proposal, some every university has something different.
Mm.
And then recommendation letters.
Okay.
My goodness. Let's not take it for granted because if you're very modest and you do not even put your SOP in the way that sells you, let somebody speak on your behalf.
Mm.
I know this person.
Mm.
This person can do this. This
Mm.
person can do that. And this
Mm.
is what this person did.
Mm.
And I cannot overemphasize this thing. When you're in school, I know that everybody's not a genius and
Yeah.
everybody's not making first class,
Yeah.
but you show certain traits:
Mm.
dedication, commitment, consistency.
Mm.
You may not know everything, but you are able to ask questions that
Wow.
shows you are interested.
Wow.
You'll be amazed at what the lecturers see and observe and what they're able to put down for you in your recommendation letter.
Wow.
The recommendation letter from your professor that taught you is very, very significant.
Mm. The
It's
one
very
that taught you.
Yes, so it's because this is somebody that knows you, that
Okay.
anybody will expect to know you. So
Mm.
if that person can vouch for you, I
Mm.
know this person. This person is like this. Don't worry.
Mm.
Don't worry. It's those are the things that really make a lot of difference.
Mm.
Some may have recommendation letters from colleagues at work, bosses and all that, but when you're going academia, you need those people back that your university that taught you because they are the people that should be able to talk about your academic abilities.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
if anybody is an undergraduate, I would just say just behave yourself in the presence
Mm.
of your lecturers. They may not be perfect,
Mm.
but you may just need them sometime.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, after these are the things that you have gotten, the materials and the requirements. So, did you contact any professor? How did you get to Stanford University? How did it happen? People are curious. How did the Stanford thing happen? Were you looking for professors? Did you get the professor in Stanford University? If yes, what was the attraction?
Okay. So let me see. I went to um I went to Dubai
Okay.
to receive my award, the SPE Young Member Outstanding Service Award.
Okay.
And then I walked into this room where I had to pick up the badge for the award recipients, and I saw a man.
Okay.
His name read my supervisor's name.
Okay.
And I said, I know your name, that I know this name. This man, you have written the textbook that I used in school.
Okay.
and I have followed your works. You wrote about this, you wrote about that, you wrote about this. Even at work, I still reference your book and everything. And you have been an inspiration to me. Like, if there's any one professor I want to be like in this world, it's you. That I
Okay.
have been admiring you from afar. But
Okay.
that I just told him, but well, I don't think I can, you know, and that this my dream will come to pass, because I have applied to 4 schools, and I had applied to 4 schools in the US and received rejection letter.
Okay.
And I can tell you that for some of them, they put their GRE scores, and I exceeded the GRE scores. So
Wow.
that is to tell you that it's not just about the GRE scores, okay?
Yeah.
And so I told him, but I don't think, because Stanford is in another league. Like, I applied to schools that are below Stanford and they rejected me. So I don't
Wow.
even think Stanford will consider me. He said Stanford is very, very competitive,
Okay.
but put your application and highlight that you want to work with me.
Wow.
And that is it.
Wow.
And so I said, when I left the conference, the event, I sent him an email. I'm following up on this thing, because I had given up after 4 schools turned me down. I had given up on this dream. He said, I said I'm following up on that discussion we had, that about the application, that I'm applying. And this is the area that I want to work with, because I'm tired of the oil and gas industry. I
Okay.
want to go towards geothermal. So he said, okay, apply. I told him, but I don't know anything about geothermal, as you see me. I don't know anything. He said, don't worry, apply.
Mm.
When I applied, and by the next year, February, I received acceptance. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I said this particular school that I did not even list it. When you're listing the top 100 schools you will apply to, I didn't put it. It wasn't considered. I had the ones I was not even bothering going to apply, because I was like, my GRE score will not reach there. My
Wow.
my academic, I made 2-1. The people that go there are first class. I don't even have the funds to fund myself there.
Mm.
So when got the letter, I called a friend at school there, and I read the letter, that they said your tuition for 3 quarters will be covered. So now, what is this thing? She said it means that you are under scholarship. I said, that
Okay.
what it means? She said, yes, your tuition is paid for. Then you have
Okay.
a stipend on top of it. Don't you understand? I said, I didn't understand. And so
Okay.
that was how it happened. And I
Wow.
told my husband that the
You
school fees
don't have.
is being paid for, the
Wow.
stipend. I don't know how to say I want to defer this kind of thing.
Okay.
I know I just have a baby with me here,
Mm-hmm.
but let me just try my luck, carry myself and the children and go.
Mm.
And that was how it is. After getting my husband to agree, it wasn't an easy thing. After getting his approval, we
Mm.
went. So yes, that's the journey.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. I think this is equivalent to sending emails to professors.
Yes, I would say it's
Um,
equivalent, because
yes.
there has to be that introduction,
Somebody has to stand for you.
most
That
likely.
okay, okay. Now I see. In your own case, you saw the doctor. You went for an award and you saw him, and you
Yes.
did your in quote elevator pitch.
That was it. I didn't even know it was an elevator pitch, because I didn't plan to meet him. It's not like I planned to meet him, right?
Okay.
But I just used that opportunity to open my mouth to
Wow.
talk, because
That
I could easily have pretended that I didn't see him. He was
yeah.
backing me. He was kind of, no, he was by the side, but I just saw a tag that had that name. So
Mm,
I could have pretended. I could have just said hi and walked away. So I think it was just that difference between opening my mouth and talking, and for the
mm,
fact that truly I had interest in what he was doing.
mm,
Because many a times we want to work with a professor, we need to understand what they do, what are their
mm,
interests. When you write that email, you need to show that, look, I know you, I have been following you, and I like your work.
mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm so impressed. So you were the one that did the in quote toasting.
Ah,
And then he now stood for you, and then now I understand because people are like, how did this woman get personally? I'm like, how did you get to Stanford? Me, I cannot even apply to. I did not, for once, or apply to Stanford. For where? No, it's not somebody like me they are looking for. That's always.
So that is the perception
Yeah.
that people have. And when I got in and I spoke to people, it wasn't like that. Many a times we just shut the opportunities for ourselves without
Yeah.
looking, without making that attempt. But what I realize is that they have a holistic view in when they
Wow.
are taking people. It's not biased towards just grades. They look for a
Okay.
lot of things: leadership qualities,
Mm,
ability to volunteer, maybe participation in sports. Some,
yeah.
they are just certain things that are addition to the education that you
Okay.
have. And
Okay.
I met a lot of people that said that they just applied to Stanford by luck,
Wow.
and they weren't expecting to be taken, and they were taken.
Wow.
Some people, in fact, some of them, they don't even mention their GRE scores. They don't want to talk about the GRE scores so that they don't embarrass themselves.
Wow.
So they just, I'm here. And I think one thing that one guy said, he said, look, we are finally in Stanford. We are in one of the top schools. So it does not matter what we got back, in our undergraduate. It doesn't matter what the GRE score again is, that he's
Wow.
not even thinking about it. And that was one of the most encouraging things I heard when I started dealing with imposter syndrome, because I'll
Wow.
come there, I'm like, everybody is just so smart. I'm not as smart as everybody.
Wow.
How am I going to cope?
Wow. So basically, you had a very good supervisor, and you had a very good support system, in my opinion. Because
Oh,
for
my
people,
my my advisor, he's amazing.
hmm,
I I can't I can't describe how blessed I am to have an advisor like him,
wow,
because he understood me, my situation. Like, this
wow,
is a woman coming with 3 children, and I have to
wow,
do research. Sometimes when I'm having ambitious goal, he will just like, but Rita, you have 3 children, right?
hmm,
These are your challenges. So you want to say you want to start traveling to this place to do XYZ thing. Who will take care of your children? So by the time he
mm,
puts me in perspective, I'm able to understand what I need to do with myself.
wow,
So he was very balanced about me, my goals,
wow,
and what I was doing with my family life. And then it
wow,
helped me to be open. If I was going
wow,
through a challenge, I could tell him, this is the challenge that I'm having. This is
wow,
the problem I'm having. If I cannot, in fact, the one that, I don't know if I took too much advantage of him. Of weekend, I'll
wow,
call him, Prof, I need to review some of my research. I know it's not normal working hours, but during the week I was attending to children. So please,
mm,
okay, Rita, no problem. Um,
mm,
um,
wow.
let's meet.
See this question. I think this relates. Look,
Oh,
Shulamite said,
it's a very important question.
he said, can we hear more about how you scaled through with convincing your partner through this dream? That's from Shulamite.
So
How did you convince him?
let me tell you. You see, I will tell you, there's no emotion in this kind of thing. If my
Okay.
husband has said, don't go,
Okay. What would you
and
have done?
I would not have gone,
Wow.
because he remains like he's my king on earth. Okay.
Mm,
And it is his headship. I
mm,
am under his headship. So if he
mm,
says don't go, I'm
mm,
not going anywhere.
mm.
However, I had to make my case.
Okay.
When we make decisions, you want to make such a decision, don't bring emotions, don't cry.
Mm.
My darling husband, number one, we are in the oil and gas industry. I
Together.
want I want yes, I want to diversify. I want
Okay.
to learn more, you know. So, you know, you can see what's happening to oil price, just in case,
Yeah.
number one. Number two, I have been saving. All those years that I have been working, I have been saving for this dream. And I
Mm,
know that as a man, you think about your responsibilities towards your family, and you're just worried, how will my wife cope? How will my children cope? I have been saving for a time like this. This is
Wow.
how much I have for this thing.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I did my Excel sheet. I had to show him for the first year, this is how much we're going to spend. This
Wow.
is how much is in the bank for this thing, and long-term goals. I listed all my points. This is what I'm trying to achieve.
Wow.
In addition to the fact that it is my dream, this is what I'm trying to achieve with this dream. The
Mm.
benefits to the family, benefits to you, benefits to our country, benefits to our world. I listed it.
Wow.
We
Wow.
have we have a very short time on this earth, right?
Yeah.
So let's just understand that this is what I want to do within this time that I'm here.
Wow.
I told him whatever I'm doing may not even necessarily be for me, but
Wow.
I hope to make that impact for the future. And so
Wow.
I need your support. And it will go
Wow.
on record that you supported me.
Wow.
We talked. After that, I said, let's pray. I also pray about it, because I can be so passionate about my dream, and you can be so passionate about the fact that you don't want me to go.
Wow.
But we need to come to that point where we have heard for ourselves
Hmm.
that, yes, this is the right thing to do at this time.
Hmm.
Sometimes it may be the right thing to do, but not at this time. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
there's also a right time.
Wow. This
So
is nice.
we
Wow.
really, it took a lot of time before we finally came up with that decision of to go. It
Wow.
wasn't a it wasn't a one day thing.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
yes,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
he told when he told me yes, he told me the reasons why he was saying yes. And he told
Wow.
me, when you come back, don't come back with a PhD.
Wow.
Because I my offer letter read masters. I was offered a masters at Stanford.
Ah.
Yeah. That's gist. I'm not putting this gist here, but I've
Okay.
graduated
Okay.
with a PhD. He said, when
Okay.
you're coming back, don't come back without a PhD. And
Wow.
that was what he said.
Wow. Basically, so that leads to the next question. Is it possible to go with your husband and kids at the same time?
It's
When you
very
got
possible.
when you got it, did you leave your kids with your husband?
No, no, no.
Okay.
My
What? How
kids
did it
were
happen?
my kids were 6,
Okay.
3, and 16 months. So
Wow.
6 years, 3 years, and 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
I can't leave children that age with my husband. My mother wasn't there. My mother was working, so she wasn't there to watch them. My mother-in-law wasn't available. All my sisters were married. And raising of children is not something that you leave entirely with the man, if there's a choice,
Mm-hmm.
especially at that age. They are at that age where children fall sick anyhow. They
Yeah.
will need to go to hospital.
Yeah.
Food, they are not making food for themselves. They are still
Mm.
learning basic things of life.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a choice of whether to leave them or to take them. I could have left the older ones and come with the younger one who was
Yeah.
16 months,
Mm.
but I wasn't ready to split the family at that time.
Okay.
And the pressure on my husband would have been a lot. He wouldn't have been able to, work at his full capacity when he
Wow.
has these distractions of children. So for him, I told him, if I'm going with the children.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you left with the children and you left him in Nigeria.
Yes, and I can explain why. It
Okay.
is one of the things that if I had to do this again, I'll really think twice, because it has been a big strain in the relationship as
Okay.
well as to the children.
Okay.
So it's not something I would easily encourage anybody to do. Just
Mm.
pack, leave your husband,
Mm.
your best friend, and then
Go
go
with the children.
go with the children. No.
Wow.
But that was what we did, and I wouldn't want to do that again. I
Mm.
would not
That's
advise anybody if you have a choice.
okay.
Now, we didn't have a choice because the cost of livelihood in
Yeah.
California
Mm.
is not something you can manage with one income.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it income, it's stipend, right? It's stipend
Yeah.
at what they
Stipend.
say,
Yeah. Mm.
with 3 children, 2 below school age, which means that they have to be in daycare.
Wow.
If anybody wants, go and Google the minimum cost of childcare in California. it was 3 times the amount I used to pay when I was in Houston, when I go
Oh,
on work when I go for work in Houston. I carry all my children, put them inside daycare, and I was paying premium in Houston. It was nothing compared to what I was paying in California. So
okay.
cost of living, food, and all of that, it's not something I would have just come here and I'll be suffering. My husband,
Mm,
me and he would just be looking at each other and quarreling every day.
mm,
So he had to stay back to further his career, to be able to support the family, as he's just so responsible about how do I take care of my family. That is all that he's thinking about. So it wasn't a choice of living. If we had an opportunity for him to work in the US, which we didn't have, perhaps he would have come.
yeah.
But the visa was a student visa. He couldn't
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm,
So yes.
mm. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see. Someone was asking one question that really, really stunned me. Where is it? Where is it? I need to find this question. Yes. Did you, let me see this question. Did you put anything about your marital status and kids in your SOP?
Let me see. I don't recall putting it in my SOP, but there were some parts of the forms that you fill where they will talk about um, your strengths. And
Okay.
I mentioned my strengths. One of my strengths was being able to manage my time.
Wow.
And I talked about how I'm able to manage my time being a wife, a mother, working, and writing novels. And anybody who has written and published a novel, fiction, would know the amount of work that goes into it. And
Mm,
doing it as a mother that is nursing a child, you would know the amount of work. And in addition, volunteerism. So for me to volunteer to the extent that I should be receive an award means it wasn't just ordinary volunteerism I was doing. It means I gave a lot of my time. So I
oh,
used that and I explained it in all the questions I had to answer.
wow. So you had a lot of volunteering experience.
I do.
Wow. Wow.
And there's a lot of value in volunteerism. It brings
That's
out things about you that you don't even know you have.
absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. I do that a lot. I just volunteer for things I don't know anything about. My mindset is always when I get there, I'll learn it. I just want to help. It's
Yeah,
as
yeah,
simple as that.
yes.
Yeah, even here in Canada, I've joined a lot of volunteering organizations that I have absolutely no idea about. But me, once I get there, the mindset is I want to learn and help. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's move. Thank you so much. The next, we have 10 more minutes. Then we'll now take questions about academics strictly. This is about family
Okay.
and stuff like that. Somebody said, I am stunned. How did you fare with the kids, especially at the outset over there? How did you cope with the academics and kids and stuff like that? Because the expectation is high. You were given scholarship. I mean, so you're expected to be reading 24/7. So how did you now cope with those kids? I mean, I like that question.
Oh my goodness. So some things will give. I can
Okay.
tell you my children will say that they didn't have their mother full time. If
Wow.
you ask my 2-year-old child when my room door is locked, what is your mother doing? She will say, my mother is in a meeting.
Okay.
That is the first sentence she learned once she started talking. My mother is in a meeting. Mommy is in a meeting. So it's tough.
Hmm.
It is very tough to
Wow.
do academics with children
Wow.
of any sort. I can tell you that me personally, I have been doing things as a mother and a wife, but it did not reach, those things did not reach what I went to in this
Wow.
place. So notwithstanding, it has been done right.
Yeah.
Time management. I
Hmm.
had to think of ways to manage time.
Wow.
Because I will cook for them at a certain time of the day. If I'm cooking, um, I had to plan. It's time management. Cooking is at certain time. Eating is at certain time. Without time, without scheduled time, I can't function.
Hmm.
And so I know the time that I need to be in school. When
Okay.
I'm in school, I'm listening attentively to what that lecturer is saying because I don't know when next I will have time to go and read my book.
Wow.
And I am in Stanford, for instance, every week you have homework and you have minimum of 3 courses per quarter. So you
Yeah.
have homework on those 3 courses. They are not easy. In
Wow.
the midnight, I am burning my midnight candle.
Wow.
Now, I can say that the fact that there was 24 hours light in
Mm-hmm.
Stanford
Mm-hmm.
was just a like the best thing that happened to me,
Wow.
because I will wake up from 11. Once
Mm-hmm.
I put the kids, we all go to bed around 8 p.m. I sleep 8, wake up by 11. That 11 till 3 or 4 a.m. I am very
Really.
busy.
Wow.
I am doing homework, I'm reading, I'm doing anything I need to do.
Wow.
Then I would now sleep, I think between 3, 4 till 5, sleep, then
Wow.
wake up again and then face the kids. The ones that need to go to school, they'll go to school. The ones that need to go to daycare, they go to daycare. And
Wow.
then when they are gone, I can now go to school.
Wow.
Um, then things like office hour, because we have office hours here. That
Yeah.
is when you're coming to meet the teaching assistant to explain
Mm.
to you things you don't understand.
Yeah.
I'll tell them I'm coming with my children because school has closed. I cannot leave my children alone in the house,
Wow.
but I will put them at the back of the class while we're doing our office hours. And they were very supportive. I would explain my situation. For some office hours that I couldn't attend, I would tell them, okay, this one I cannot attend. TA, please, will you be able to be accommodating to me? Maybe I'll meet you in the office early in the morning. And they say yes. And they were supportive.
Wow.
So there was just a whole lot of support system.
Wow. That's
Yes.
really, 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 really amazing. I can tell that you are lucky. God really favored you because you had an amazing um supervisor. You had an amazing people that you work with. You had an amazing work environment and research environment,
Yes.
I must say.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you
I did.
need to you need
I,
to
I'm forever grateful.
you are forever grateful. Absolutely.
I I
Absolutely.
remember a particular professor. One day I just came and told him my assignment that you said we should submit is not due, and I know that if you don't submit by a certain time, you will take mark. Please, you can take the mark, but I cannot meet up.
Wow.
I cannot meet up. This one I know. I don't like to use my children as excuse for not doing something. But this
Hmm.
one was, I just had to tell him. He said, Rita, because of you, we will extend the date for everybody.
Wow. This is
Everybody.
man. I think you have prayed a lot. All your prayers are just got answered at the same time. Honestly.
No, so when he did that for me, I almost cried. I told him it's not that I'm looking for excuse not to do it, but please, and I'm ready to lose the mark because I cannot meet. So when he did it for everybody, he said, "You're not the only person, but if you with your children, you are telling us you're having this issue, what again now? I will give you." And all the other people that didn't have children that were asking me for extra days, I will now give to
Yeah.
everybody at once. So yes, I wouldn't use it as an excuse. I wouldn't use my situation as an excuse because um I was in an environment where there were people that had disabilities. And I
Mm.
say if people with disabilities are still trying,
Mm.
why should I be looking for excuse?
Mm.
Just do what you need to do.
Wow.
And people are watching.
Wow.
People are watching.
This kind of your experience is absolutely. I'm stunned. I've been favored too, but this your own is it shocked me honestly. Yeah,
You're
because
too funny. Too funny.
because everything your supervisor is understanding, your husband is understanding, which is very very important. And then you had a very very good support system. I'm so grateful. I just thank God on your behalf. Okay, now what general advice on this family thing before we move to academics, asking questions about SOP, asking questions about scholarship and stuff like that. What general advice do you have for two sets of people?
Okay.
Because I have them surrounded, all of them. they surround me. Number one, people who have issues are picking a life partner because they want to japa, they want to um, move, and their spouses are not um, absolutely in support, so they are not engaged. I have people in that shoes, so
Okay.
they are like, let's just continue this relationship. If I move and I discover that you are not even looking at my side, I japa, I just leave you, I move. And personally, I've been telling them that, please, your life matters first. You are not married, you are not legally married, you guys are still dating. If you cannot, if your spouse can, if you and your boyfriend or spouse or spouse to be cannot find a common ground, then I think that you should go and think about it again, because I would don't like, our parents have done a lot of compromises that they are regretting by now. But of course, but if you want to compromise, let's compromise on something that makes sense, such that all of us move, all of us shift ground. Not that I'll shift my own ground, my body, soul, and body, and come and move to your own place without you at least shifting something. So, what advice we have for people like that? That's number one. Number two, for people who are already married, and have kids like you, and they have issues with their husband supporting them. I mean, people, not that they don't love their husband, but they themselves, they do not have that mindset of traveling before, if not because of, in quotes, the situation of Nigeria. And then they see, some of them came across my tweet and they discovered that, so maybe I can leave this country by studying. My husband, come. We like say, we need to move. And your husband says, I have a thriving business. I'm taking care of you. Yes, we are not really, really okay, but you can eat and your kids. And the husband is vehemently saying no. I mean, how do people like that deal with that issue? Because am I'm deliberately taking a lot of time on this, because we don't discuss these things, especially on Twitter. Because most people are married and they want to move, they're having issues with their family.
Okay.
So give us light, and we pray that God give you wisdom to help us. I
Okay.
say, okay,
So let's start with those in relationship. Okay.
okay,
When you are at that stage, you haven't made a commitment.
okay,
Okay, I've been married 13 years. So let's put it in perspective. And I courted my husband for a while before we got
wow,
married. So as a human being, you must know what you want from your partner.
okay,
You must know. It's not your wishing and dreaming. And it is
okay,
just for a woman, you just want tall, dark, and handsome. Understand your own self, understand your values,
okay,
know what you cannot compromise. And then, when you have identified those things that you cannot compromise, your values, what are you then looking for in that person to
mm,
support you? I remember writing it down. I wanted a husband that will read my stories when I write it. Anybody that I dated that did not read my stories, I had already marked you. I'm not marrying you, no matter.
wow,
Secondly, I want a guy that understands that I am. This is the kind of career I want. You know me enough. If anybody just bring 10 positions and say we want to offer Rita, because my husband knows me, he knows the one he will pick for me.
okay,
So know yourself, know what you want and what you don't want
mm,
before you go out to be mingling and all of that. Now, you must always discuss it in your period of courtship. My love, my darling, even though this love is doing me, my eyes, I cannot see clearly. Let
mm,
me tell you the true things I really want. I want
okay,
to be like this when I grow up. I want to do like this when I grow up. I want to go
okay,
here when I grow up.
okay,
Talk about it. Just spend time to talk about your future
mm,
so that you will see if your future is aligning with the person's future.
mm,
I tell you that in relationship, I don't consider anybody bad,
mm,
but just incompatibility is the problem.
mm,
Nobody is bad, but if the both of you are incompatible in areas that are of your values, that is when there is problem. Are there things that you can shift your grounds for? It is during that courtship that you're discussing it. Okay, you've told your husband that you want to further your education, and he knows, he
Mm-hmm.
agrees that he will support you
Mm-hmm.
in that kind of thing. When when in the course of this discussion he's able to say, look, but in the first 3 years of marriage I need to be spend time with you, I want to know my wife very well. No, you cannot go for anything after being in the first 3 years. Let you people agree on it. You people can decide, okay, we want to have the children first before you go, or you will go before you have the children, but talk about it, agree on it. If you are seeing that the both of you are incompatible in that stage of dating, then you can now tell yourself, okay, let's go. Let me go. Let me do my stuff. You may be wrong in the end. Maybe that thing you want to go and do outside the country may not work out for you, or you may be right, it may work out for you. But as of that time when you're not married, you can do your thing, especially when you find out that you people are not compatible on this matter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you that this thing that we call love, 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 love is not the thing that sustains. There are so many other things that sustain marriage. So leave the butterflies in the tummy. They take somewhere in the garage seat sometimes, in this relationship. So talk about everything. And sometimes you can say, okay, let me go for 1 year and
Okay.
come back. Let me just do this thing, because again, even doing it as a married person is more difficult than doing it when you're single.
Yeah.
So if the person can wait, okay, let's go, let me do this thing, and the stress is less on the man. When your wife, the responsibility of that man goes to that woman. But when you were still in relationship, the girl can ask her father for money, ask uncles and all of that. But the moment she's married, what is your husband doing? Why are you begging us for money? So it's something that you may want to think about. Okay, I have a friend, did everything, finished did her PhD. Then when she now graduated with the PhD, she now got married. They were saying time, 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 time. And she just entered the marriage, she born, work, everything. Nobody is counting whether she married at 30 or 30 something or whatever. She's married, children, they are forgotten. So please discuss everything. Take some time. Of course, I will always say pray, because there are some things that you see or you are so strong about that might not just be right. And when there's what they call it, the right timing for certain things, you might be so sure that it's today, but it's not. It might just be later. So just if you are a spiritual person, please consult your spiritual whatever to just get
Okay.
clarity, because our wisdom is limited. Now, when you now are in marriage, please, when you marry, you make a commitment. It's a vow. It's like a contract that you agree to. Um, um, I, I would say, don't just don't behave the way you would have behaved if you were single. You cannot just walk out. I want to go and do my whatever. If he says no, the both of you are inside it together, and the both of you have agreed that you're going to be agreeing on topics. As a woman, this is me. I will just stay. But now the thing is, a lot of resentment is built in someone who you're trying to do something and it's not working out.
Yeah.
So you must talk it through. You just have to talk about it. You have to talk about the implications. Look, that this thing that I really, really want you to do, that I really want to do, that you're preventing me from doing, this is the impact it's having on me. But you have to make a case aside emotions and weigh your facts. Your facts are, this is what I want to do, this is why I want to do, this is the duration, this is the financial implication, this is the implication even on our relationship. Please, it's not easy to just leave your husband and go away.
Okay.
Please.
Oh, so
So it's I would just say respect. I respect your husband, but please don't spring it as a surprise on him.
Mm. Okay.
It should not be. It's not something that you people never talked about, and you just woke up one morning and then
Mm.
you want to just bring it on. However, some things have changed. Maybe when you married, the both of you said, our life together is going to
Mm-hmm.
be in Lagos. We're not moving. We've built house. We've done everything, and then things change or life happens. Discuss it.
Mm.
Discuss it. If you need help with somebody older that could help to talk to your husband, maybe you weren't able to present your case well, please do. But you can invite somebody that he respects to talk with him about it. But of course, you need to understand him. If he's the type of person that will get offended, please don't do it.
Okay.
Please don't do it. Yeah. But please, these things are just about discussion. And sometimes too, if understand your own motive, why you
Yeah.
really want to do it. If it's something that is a must, you
Mm.
don't want to jeopardize your marriage,
Yeah.
your just because of one dream that tomorrow when everything fizzles, maybe nobody will remember did you get PhD or not.
Mm.
So really think through. Really think
Thank
through.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you have given some points there, some wisdom points here. Thank you so much. So finally, before we move to the academic part, SOP, CGP, admission stuff, this person says, how about you guys talked about it? And when you got married, your spouse just dissipates all of those promises and compromises. For example, you guys are already agreed, okay, if you marry and you get the scholarship, don't worry, I will stay with the kids. You will leave, don't worry. And you get the scholarship, now you will meet your husband. Or the scholarship has landed. So, Alpha, the person said, when did we say that kind of thing? Are you sure I said it? Maybe it's not me.
No, he
And
even knows that he said it right.
yeah, he knows he said it,
But
but he's trying to deny all of them
but
because of whatever reason. So, what should the wife or the husband do in that kind of situation?
this one is tough for me
Very
because
tough.
people have reasons for why they do certain things.
Mm.
People have reasons. If a person should fail on their promise, it's something about the person's character.
Mm.
Like I teach my children, if I say I'm going to do this, take my word. And you should be able to say something and somebody should take your word for it.
Mm.
It's against your integrity that you say you will do something and you don't do it.
Okay.
So it's already an issue with the character. And
Mm.
I cannot help somebody's character flaw in that
Mm.
case.
Mm.
And this is somebody you would know before you marry the person that this person can do this kind of thing. If not,
Mm.
it's coming as a surprise to you that
Mm.
this person did it. But of course, there has to be context, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the both of you agreed. You people have now come into the marriage. You people have children.
Yeah.
To separate families is not easy and it's not fun.
Mm.
And the wisdom, the way men think is different from the way women think. They have, like for my husband, there are certain things he's thinking about or the way he approaches his thoughts that are quite different from the way I'm thinking. And
Mm.
so I have to hear his point. I have to hear his reasons and the context. Maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe it's not, we don't have the right funds.
Mm.
Maybe it's going to be a strain on the relationship. And
Mm.
please, it's good to respect the other person's context and
Mm.
opinion. But if it's a case of, there has to be some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly that, like you said, most times we know these things, but because uh, of the goosebumps that's on our skin when we are getting married,
In
we
love.
we ignore some of those things. Yeah, the truth is that if you look at it holistically and we try to check, we'll see that some of these things are there before, some of these flaws are there. We don't want to talk about it, probably maybe because we don't want to lose them, or probably
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
because we don't have alternatives. That's the truth.
And
It's just so hard to say it is the truth.
so let me also say something. If as a woman, you know that this is what you want to do, and you don't mention it to your boyfriend,
Yeah.
then you now get married and now tell him, I think it's not right.
Okay.
It's not right. Maybe you felt that if you mention it, you would lose him. It's not right.
Mm.
So please be as open and as transparent as possible.
Okay.
and talk things through. That is what relation. In fact, you will be continually discussing, resolving, all through your marriage. So
Mm.
just be prepared for it. So start during your courtship to be open and be truthful about everything.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
This is not
Um,
a marriage counseling session.
yes, yes, yeah, we are moving now.
Please. If people want me for marriage counseling, you set up another session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I just have to put the first half of it so that because we're asking you about your story, you are a married person. So we're asking you your stories, and this is very important. Now, let's go to academics. Number one, this person says, what about going out with intentions to work? For example, I just want to leave Nigeria. The person wants to leave Nigeria with intentions to work and not by academics. What are the possible ways?
Intentions to work. So it's
Yes.
what I see is it's not very easy in the US to get a job without some certain degrees.
Okay.
So if your company, let's say, um, locally doesn't send you to the US and processes all your papers and all of that, um, it's not that straightforward getting work in
Okay.
that's professional kind of jobs to
Okay.
do. So that's why lots of people use academics as that shortcut
Okay.
to get there. Now, if there are other ways of doing it, of going to work, having, I mean, if you have the funds and you are able to do some startups that are of
Yeah.
benefit, there are also ways of getting the visa that allow you to do that. Now,
Okay.
I'm not an immigrations expert, so
Okay.
questions on immigrations I will not be able to answer and address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, another question. Did you have to contact any professors before leaving? Do you have to contact any professor before getting a PhD
No, so
admission
I wouldn't
scholarship?
say if I have to sample, it's not everybody
Okay.
that did. I spoke to a lot of people and I said, "Did you contact XYZ?" They said no.
Okay.
The process is not a one size just a very linear process that this is how it has to be done. No.
Okay.
It works differently for everybody. I contacted professors in the previous applications that I did and I was not taken.
Okay.
So it's not a guarantee that you'll be taken if you
Okay.
contacted them.
Okay.
It's there are other things like, okay, the thing you want to study, is there even funding for it? Is there space for it? Is it something that that university is interested in?
Okay.
So there all those things are about a professor cannot take you or the school cannot take you if they don't do research related to what you're interested in, and that
Mm.
is why you need to do your homework. I also made that mistake in some universities. I'm very passionate about this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Write my SOP, apply. But who will supervise me? Who wants to work with me on this thing? Is this thing relevant? And so there are other reasons. So even if I contacted professors that this is what they will do, they will just say, go and apply. The process is this and that.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Okay.
Nothing happened. So it's a lot more than that. Research, understand the needs, understand the professor you want to work with if you want to contact him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just and position your SOP to be able to state that this is the person you're interested to work with, why, and what you're able to bring.
Okay. Thank you very much. For Canada, you need to contact professor. So let me put that. For
Okay.
US, you may not.
Yes.
But for Canada, if you are going for PhD or masters, you have to contact professors because their funding is usually they give the funding individually.
Okay.
They have the funds with them, and then they bring people, and then in the process, when they bring you in, they and the school or the faculty shares the burden of the fund per year. My funding,
Okay.
50% is being paid by my supervisor. The other 50% is being paid by the faculty. But of
Okay.
course, my supervisor brought me in,
Mm-hmm.
told me to apply, got the funding, but they wrote everything once. It was when I got here, I discovered that it's 50-50. They will pay
Mm-hmm.
me half for 6 months, then another half of it for another 6 months.
You see.
That's the way it works in Canada. For you, for US, you may not. If you are lucky enough to do a very nice elevator pitch like a doctor, or or you can also send emails. It can work.
It's
So
helpful because some of them may be able to tell you, okay, this is the area that I have funding. This is
yeah,
the area that you should focus on. They
yeah,
some of them are able to give you that information so that you better prepare your SOP. So if you can, please go ahead and contact.
okay,
I will
very,
just say just contact,
okay.
but don't send blank generalized emails.
Email, yes, of
Please
course.
know who you're contacting, why you're contacting, and
Yeah,
please just write professional letters. Don't, even things like having um, typographical errors in the letter you're sending to them can be a put off
yeah,
already.
I
They are
agree.
very busy, right? So you
Yeah,
want something that is sweet, short, straight to the point.
yep, I agree with you. If you want to learn how to write email, just check the video. Go to my YouTube channel. I did a review about SOP and send emails to professors. Check it, and then it's about 2 hours. I did live review about three
Okay.
or four SOPs, about three or
Okay.
four emails, and I reviewed it. I corrected it live.
So this is
So
excellent.
so people can check it and watch it. Okay, this question says, I have no research experience, publications, and I have no GRE. Do I have a chance for PhD? Let's start from your place in US. Alpha, doctor.
So let's understand, what is this GRE for? The GRE is a standardized test. It's just to understand the kind of level of reasoning of certain people. There are some universities that waive GRE, some do
Okay,
not.
okay,
But even for your own self, it's also good to write this GRE just to understand how standardized tests may be.
okay,
Because again, the people that teach, the kind of teaching that they teach here, they are no more teaching. They don't teach for you to cram.
okay.
They teach for you to know and apply. And the way this GRE reasoning does, it helps you start opening your brain to
Yeah.
thinking in that way. So it's just good to do it. Most schools will ask for it, but there are also schools that waive the GRE.
Oh, okay,
Let me talk about publications and research experience.
okay.
You want to demonstrate that you want to do research,
Mm-hmm.
and there has to be something that should speak for you,
Okay,
that you can do research. If you don't have research experience and you don't have publication, please find something else.
okay,
And which, in my case, I'll say was work. At
okay.
least in the work I did, it was technical, and it was technical enough for me to have results that I could talk about,
Oh,
because you will still put those kind of things in your SOP. Because they are looking for, does this person have research experience, does this person have publication experience, does this what, or if not, what else. So if you
okay.
find out that you are lacking in one of these areas, you must complement it,
Hmm.
because the overall goal is they want to answer the question, can this person carry out research?
Okay,
So what can you put to fill in those parts?
okay.
I think the one you sent something about,
Yeah,
go and ask your professors.
yeah,
That it is very apt. Anybody that tells me, "Oh, I'm applying," I say, you don't have one paper that you've written." No, go back, meet your professor, talk to them. Somebody told me that the data could not be released. I said, there's no professor that does not know that if you're applying for a PhD, you need paper.
yep.
So please go back and tell that professor that this is the challenge you're having. You are unable to get any publication. Is there any workaround? Even if it's a document that they publish, so maybe it's a government work that they're working on and the data cannot be released, but the person can write you a recommendation. I said, can that person now write you a recommendation that states that the data, you worked on this thing, you did so well, but the data could not be released and you couldn't publish? Because
Hmm.
there has to be a proof that you're able to carry out research.
Hmm.
Yes. So you will put it in your SOP. So if you don't have the research experience, or let me say publications, because your challenge was they couldn't release data or something like that, but still state what you did. If you have work experience that could, stand in place of research experience, talk about it.
Okay.
Because some of the things we do at work kind of, adds value to the industry,
Yeah.
so we can always, leverage on that. You may not have published it, but you've done the work on it.
Hmm.
And that is going to be in your CV.
Oh,
So it's to help you, but try as much as possible as a graduate, find something to just publish anywhere.
Okay.
Let it be that you went through that rigor of putting together a paper.
Okay.
Now, research experience, I know there are some universities that don't offer this research experience, the real
Okay.
research experience that they're looking out for. Most of the schools understand. They understand that not all university will provide research experience, the up to the standard that they want. However, there are other things you need to have demonstrated. Academic excellence, resilience. There are
Mm.
other things that you can use to describe that I didn't have the opportunity to carry out the kind of research you want, but if I am given the opportunity, I will
Mm.
do it because I have XYZ characteristics.
Wow.
And that is how you are going to now package it in your SOP.
Mm.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
nice. Thank you, Doctor. I will also add to it that just do MOOC, Massive Open Online Course. On my Twitter handle, I explained how you can do get a waiver to do any online course. Look for something that is related to your research area that is being done online course. Apply for it. I explained step by step how to apply for those courses. Those courses are paid for, but you can apply for waiver by writing short statements, but to explain why you cannot afford it and stuff like that. I explained all of those things on Twitter. You can follow me, and I'm sure guys here, some of the people listening must have seen it. Many people have gotten waiver on Twitter telling me that they used what I said and they've gotten waiver. So the idea is that you're able to finish an online course and you can use that as in quote an experience, either research or publication, it doesn't matter, but you can tell them that in I did this sometimes ago and I learned this, and this is related to what you are doing and stuff like that. So these are the things you can also do to complement your no PhD stuff.
So
Okay.
let me add something, do you want? You know,
Okay.
in these days, there are several ways of generating synthetic data.
Yeah.
Please, if you have that time, anybody, please try and just generate synthetic data to do something
Mm,
that you can now analyze. We have different tools for analyzing data,
mm,
and the way you tell your story is something that is even publishable. And the reason why I'm saying it is because some will say, okay, I didn't do it, I don't know anything. But if you have any knowledge, pick create synthetic data, work on something,
mm,
bring out insights, analyze your data.
mm,
That is those are the things that help you to now show that I can tell a story, I can write, I can do it. Even if you post it on LinkedIn, one article you wrote, it's already enough. It may not have been peer reviewed and all, but
mm.
you're just building that skill that will help you to take you to where you want to go. So anything you can do to help yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. I know friends who write articles. They write about their personal experience. They write about anything they know. For people who like
Yeah.
writing, especially people who like writing stories, you can sit down, write, put it in anywhere. You can put it in WordPress. Anything that shows that you can write something and people can see it and they can make sense of what you are saying,
Yes.
that can be used. In Australia, I know if you don't have work experience, even your undergraduate project, as tough as it may be, you can use it as an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that use it, they just send to the professor. The professor will ask them or the graduate coordinator to send some of their written experience, something they've written before. They could just put the abstract, one or two things, maybe 4 or 5 pages, and send it to them. So that's also part of it. You can use it to get funding anywhere. It could also boost your application. Okay, thank you, doctor. Next question says, how do I apply with a low CGPA? When this person says low CGPA, let's say the person has a 2.2. Is PhD sure for somebody with a 2.2 from Nigeria or from anywhere in the world? Equivalent. You shock you, sir?
It's see, um, nothing is really impossible.
Okay.
Okay, you can't rule it out. If you know you have low CGPA, even in Nigeria, you have low CGPA. You understand the difficulties in getting job.
Mm,
You understand the difficulties in doing an advanced program. So that um, it's not that the challenges with it. is well known. So it means that once you know you have a low CGPA, you have to start doing things to help yourself.
Okay.
What courses will you take? Can you take any courses to boost yourself? Can you take any certification that will help you to stand out?
Mm.
Can you go through a PhD and then do a master's? There are several ways. I know people that graduated with tutu and have
Okay.
PhD and are professors.
Wow.
I know a lot.
Yeah.
It's just for them to understand I still have a goal. Maybe it was victimization that caused it. Maybe it was poor teaching that caused it. Maybe it was the circumstance of your family at that time that caused it. Some people could not pay for textbooks,
Mm.
and so they were not going to get certain grades. So
Mm.
if you have this low CGPA, but you know you are this kind of person that has, you are set out for academia, try to find ways to boost it.
Mm.
Even so, I've talked about PGD, I've talked
Yeah.
about getting masters, I've talked
Yeah.
about certification courses,
Yeah.
online courses, anything
Mm-hmm.
you can do,
Mm.
and then work experience.
Mm.
Anywhere
Mm.
that you can get work experience to boost
Mm.
yourself. But
Mm.
you can even imagine that volunteerism and can
Yeah.
build your networking, you can build your network, and
Yeah.
there's somebody that can speak for you.
Yeah.
So there are several ways, but I would say just know that that is a shortcoming. They say you have strengths and weaknesses. If you
Mm.
have weakness in this place, try and find other areas to make as strengths, so that
Mm.
it's a whole package, right? It's a whole
Mm.
package. It's not only CGPA. So now with low CGPA, you have to try to work towards high TOEFL, high GRE, and all those things, so that they don't look at your CGPA again.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you have to prove that, okay, this my CGPA is not everything about me, but
Okay.
I have done well in this standardized test, and
Mm.
that I can compete to some
Okay.
extent. Then when you have the opportunity, you can even explain your SOP why your CGPA was low.
Yeah. I
There
agree
was no
with you.
light. You could not read. You are going to get firewood, whatever. So
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
just
Thank you, doctor.
yeah.
So let me just quickly say I have someone who add to. Some people in this chat room can testify to it. The person is presently in US. As I speak to you now, what did she do? I told her to write TOEFL and GRE. Make sure you blast it. Although she did not really blast it actually, but she did something that I mean that is so encouraging. She wrote more than 100 emails to professors asking professors about talking about their research area. So in one of those emails, one professor just got interested in her and tried her and told her that she will organize a Zoom meeting with her to discuss. In the before the Zoom meeting, she came to me and then I did a mock meeting with her. So I assumed to be the professor. And because of the experience I've gathered, I asked her, I don't know anything about biology. I'm an electrical engineering student. But I read her research area. I said, okay, I can formulate something. So I just asked her question and she was answering me. I didn't know if the answer was wrong or correct.
Right.
But I was trying to read her mind to see her confidence level.
Exactly.
So even if she was saying nonsense, but she was confident. So I was just saying, nice,
Yes.
nice, nice, nice. So I gave her one or two hints as if I knew. The professor asked almost the same question. So she was just remembering all she discussed with me, and she was just giving the professor. Do you know what this professor did? The professor took her application file, wrote the graduate studies that I need this student.
Oh my goodness.
That was the cash. You see, I would like to tell everyone that is here. There is always hard work. There is always that grace that you cannot explain it. Something in professor's case, in doctor's case, she did a very nice pitch, elevator pitch, and God, I mean, used that. In this person's case, that had the tutu, it was the interview. The interview was a turning point for her. The professor took over from there. The professor made sure she got the admission. When she came to US, the professor was the one that welcomed her. It was so
Oh wow.
serious. That
Wow.
welcome to United States of America. When she told me, I was like, what? Because the professor already liked her because she displayed a lot of confidence in the Zoom meeting and they had already started some research, you
Yes.
know. But before that, I told her to do West evaluation. That's very important. If you have 2-2 and you have HND, do West evaluation so that nobody will be looking at your transcript from the eye of HND and 2-2
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Your degree is now universally in quote accepted. Your all of your scores will be remarked, and then you now have another transcript that is not your school's transcript again.
Mm.
So she had like I think 3.2 over 5. I think 3.2 over 5. When they remarked the whole thing, she had maybe 3.3 over 4. I always tell people to do West evaluation. It's very important, especially if you have you have low CGPA or you have HND. So this person, Benson Yeboah, this is what you should do. Um, okay. So the same thing. Let me see if you have any more questions. I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay, somebody is saying, okay. The other question: which online course can I do to boost my CGPA? Well, let me, Doctor, you answer that.
So the question will need further information. When you say your CGPA, are you in school or you have graduated? So if the person is in school, um, it's not it just let me just let's go to you've graduated first. You've graduated and you want to boost your CGPA. Online courses have to be in line with what you want to apply for. So let's say by background petroleum engineering. I've graduated. My CGPA is not quite high, but I want to move into sustainable energy.
Okay.
I would then go and look for courses that are teaching solar energy.
Okay.
And there are a lot of these courses these days. Solar energy, wind energy, all those things. Maybe it's a 3 to 6 months course, whatever. Invest myself in it and get a good score.
Mm,
So that when I get the certification as well as my scores, I'm able to tell that these professors that okay, I am interested in sustainable energy. These are the things that I have learned. Talk about it, and these are the scores that I have, and put it
mm,
there.
mm,
That's just one of it. But whatever course you're doing has to be in line with what you are interested in applying for, area
mm,
you want to go, so that if you want to go into data analytics, go there. There are courses for you to do to boost your. It's not like boost if you've graduated to cover your CGPA, just something else to complement the CGPA.
mm.
That's what I was.
Thank, thank you so much, Doctor. Next question: how do one get application waiver?
So some
Application
schools,
fee waiver. Yeah.
yeah. So some schools they give it. They I think I had a couple of mentees that told me they waived application fees, but you can also request.
Okay.
You go and find out if it can be waived, and you have to explain your situation
Okay.
to the people in charge of these graduate school things. You write to them. So the thing is, if you don't even make an attempt, you will never know whether they can waive for you or not.
Mm,
But you have to have a compelling reason why you want to waive it.
I agree.
Yes. So that's what I would just say.
Thank you so much. For application fee waiver, let me just say, there are schools that are doing fair. They do what they just where they advertise what they do online, and then you can talk to them. They do fairs like that. You can join them. I think some of my mentees told me that they did one last week and they joined. Many people got
Okay.
application waiver. Just enter the
Wow.
chat room, talk to the people talking about the university, tell them that you need application fee waiver. How does it work? Some of them will give you code. Some of them will
Mm-hmm.
tell you to send an email to a
Yeah.
particular email address explaining why you need application fee waiver, and then some of them will give you code. And for now, next month, October, University of Alabama will be waiving application fee for a week. Check Twitter, you will see them. So that time they expect a lot of people to apply. They will give them application fee. I know someone who used the application fee last year. The person is currently in University of Alabama now.
Good.
Yeah, so you just have to be smart. Okay. How do I next question? How do I include my research experience in my CV? Doctor? How do you include research experience in CV from Amaka?
Okay. Um, so your CV will detail your work experience. Now, if you are applying towards academia,
Yeah.
your research experience should be translated towards things like your publications. And so you want to have a section where you talk about it. If you have not published what you have done research on, you can put it now in a separate section, research experience, but
Okay.
it will be more relevant in your SOP, your statement of purpose.
Hmm. Okay.
If your research experience does not translate to publication, it is best in your SOP. That's what I would say.
Okay, I agree with you. For the research experience in the CV, you can just put one or two lines just like a summary. But it's in your
Yeah.
SOP, you can really, really explain what your experience is all about. Okay, next question. For management students, is it necessary also to email the professor? People doing MBA, people doing something related to business. You have any idea, doctor?
So I wouldn't say I have a lot of experience with that,
Okay.
but still, for everything, you want to make inquiries,
Yeah.
right? You want to just make inquiries as to how things work. So contact somebody that has excelled or has gotten in as a management student and find out how it's done. Look, you
Okay.
cannot discount insider information. The
Very
things that I
important.
know now inside,
Hmm.
I am better able to advise somebody. And if I had known, I should have been looking for people in Stanford to be asking, how do I do this? How do I do that? So just
Hmm.
look
Hmm.
for an insider. Go on LinkedIn, check. You'll find somebody
Hmm.
and drop them an email just to know how to go about it. Would they
Exactly.
recommend to go and contact a professor or to contact the graduate school or what? Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor is dropping a lot of hints. Smart people are writing them down. Um, it's very important. I used to say it. Go to Twitter, look for professors, you can and look for students. Just type the name of the school. You see students, you see professors. Send them DM. On LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. Before I got here, I searched for like 5 students working with my current professor. Send them the request. Out of 5, maybe 2 accepted. Out of the 2, 1 responded. It was that one that gave me the hint. But what if I did not try?
What
The
if you
problem
didn't
with
try?
people, well, the problem about people is that they do one, they do two. You say, well, I cannot kill myself. Be like, say this thing is not for me. That's the problem. Persistence. I will
Yeah,
always
yeah.
try. So just try. Look for people in your school. Search the name of that school on LinkedIn. You will see somebody that you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Nigerian. It may be anybody.
Yes,
The
yes,
worst thing
yes.
I would tell myself is that last they will say they will not accept it. Last they will not respond. Will I die? So do not be afraid. For management students, most of you go for MBA. MBA is usually business, and the funding that are available are usually half. I have an idea about it. It's not even up to half because it's most of the MBAs are there. They are already working and they have money.
Yes,
They only
yes.
need the degree to get higher money. That's the summary of MBA for me. The person that is doing MBA has money. He only needs that degree to get more positions and money.
You're so
So
funny.
the schools that are bringing them in, they don't expect you not to have your money for where because they know that getting an MBA is, or in quote, pride for you and for them.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
I have my relative, one of my relative who did that. As good as he is, he had maybe 20 or 30% waiver. He got it in what's the name of France. There's this popular MBA school in France, best MBA, INSEAD
Yes, yeah,
College.
okay.
Yeah, that's the best MBA school in the world. He got it, but he didn't get full scholarship. He wrote a lot of letters, a lot of stories. So that's that. Next questions. So far, most scholarship opportunities are for those in sciences. How do we who are in the humanities find scholarship school, email professor, or should we change? Thank you, Doctor.
So the issue of changing, if you want to be where you can thrive,
Yeah.
where you can be your best. So don't change to the sciences just because of the issue of funding or
Okay.
scholarship. But I should still think there are some.
Okay.
When there are certain schools, universities that they have scholarships for people that are not in the sciences. You just check and ask, make inquiries. It may not be on the year when you join. They might be
Okay.
waiting for you when you come in, then you will know through insider information the kind of scholarships available.
Mm,
But the main thing is to ask, to find out, and to look. It's there. There are certain things. I mean, what I really like about this place is the priority that they give to everything. Nothing is a joke. Art
mm,
is there, English is there, science, humanities, everything has priority. So there's something. There's
mm.
something. Look, ask questions, and then see what the information you get.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I know people who had scholarship in humanities. The same process that applies for science students also apply, even in US, in Canada, anywhere for PhD, for masters. What you just have to do is to do is to follow the process. The problem is that most of us that write information online, most of us are from science. So, and that's our forte.
Mm.
So we think that when we write this based on what we know, but people don't know that there are people in social science, in economics, in humanities that are also getting scholarships. So for Chidima,
Yeah.
please do the same process. And I know somebody who even got scholarship in geography. And geography is a science course, but it's not usually pronounced. So you can also get that. Okay, next question, Doctor. We are rounding up. The statement publication, does it necessarily mean you publish a paper in one of these academic volumes? Very nice question from Nathaniel Solomon.
Okay, so there are two types of publications. One is peer reviewed and one is not peer reviewed.
Okay.
So the peer reviewed ones are the ones that are in journals that you see in those academic journals that have different rankings and citation indices. So those ones are the peer reviewed ones. They have significant weight because at least somebody else, an expert, has looked through and has verified that yes, this information is okay. This is knowledge to our field.
Mm,
But there are also publications that are not peer reviewed and they are done in conferences. So you
mm,
see conferences, they will invite you, you write, you publish your paper. There are some other journals that are also not peer reviewed as well that you can publish.
mm,
The main thing is for you to have been able to put something together and um, put it in some sort of publication, whether peer reviewed or not. I'm
mm,
sure most people coming out of the university may not have the time or even resources to put it in an academic journal.
mm,
People working in industry would most likely be using conferences as a platform to share the knowledge they have.
mm.
So, but as long as it is published, it is something.
Ah, thank you. As long as it is published, it is something. Thank you, Doctor. Can someone working in the university as a lecturer apply for PhD, stating his or her work experience?
So yes, so okay, you're working as a lecturer, you
Mm,
have a master's or whatever that should allow you to go for PhD.
mm.
Yes, working as a lecturer is your work experience. That is the work that you did.
Okay,
So yes, it is relevant work experience.
okay.
I can be included. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, I currently have two international past presentation where I presented my final year thesis. This is nice from DK, but I have no publication yet. Does it add as a research experience or a boost in my CV?
Okay. So these international presentations, they are good. They can be listed in your CV as this is what you have presented. So it's just a section presentations.
Yeah.
In your SOP statement of purpose, you will have to describe what you presented on in your research experience.
Okay.
So, but if you have time, convert them to papers and
Mm,
publish.
very important. If you have time, convert them to papers and publish, because one publication is better than five presentations. That's the truth. I
Yes,
can tell you for one publication, your name is there is different from is better than five presentations,
yes,
because they will tell you that anybody can present. Presentation is what somebody has done or
yeah.
what you have done. You are just saying it. So okay. Next, the statement. Okay, I think we've done that one. Can someone proceed to a PhD with a thought masters non-thesis option? Answer is yes. My friend here, Dr. Ahmed, did a non-thesis masters in McGill University, Mastercard, and then we are both doing PhD in Concordia. Dr. Ahmed is my is my housemate here, so I'm sure you will be listening to what I'm saying here. So, yes, the answer is yes. You do not necessarily have to do a research masters for you to have a PhD. No, you can do a non-thesis masters and have a PhD and do proceed for a PhD. Okay,
Yes.
let me move.
So let me just add to
Okay,
that.
okay,
Please remember to check the requirements for any school you're applying to
okay,
and know what they expect.
okay,
So it's just know it's possible to do it, but please don't assume it's everywhere. Some people may have very strict views to that. And again, they'll be looking for, if you didn't have a thesis from your master's, what else do you have to complement to show that you can do a PhD?
yep.
So those are things that they will look out for as well. So understand what is the requirement and if there's anything additional that you need to help your case or application.
Okay. Doctor, I think we have answered this. I have work experience online courses that aligns with my current course of choice of work. I have done, but with a low grade, how can I boost my chances? This person basically has work experience, has done a lot of online courses, but the person has low grade. I think we have answered that. This is
Yes,
what you can use to boost your chances.
that is what you need. And
Yep.
remember, word it properly. It's your
Yeah.
strength. It's your strength area. So you focus on it so that they don't focus on where you have a weakness.
Let me repeat that place again. It's your what? Please repeat that
And then
thing.
it's your strength. So you
Mhm.
want to focus on your strength so that they do not look towards where it's your weakness.
Mm,
I just have this thing in my mind where I have two circles. One is your strength, one is your weakness.
mm,
And you know what your weakness is already. When you
mhm,
now are preparing your SOP, amplify your strengths
mm,
so that that is where they are going to be focusing on. You did this, you did that. By the time they finish reading about the work experience or the great things you did, they will
mm,
forget the CGPA. It will
mm,
have its own weighting, but the other things will not overshadow that part. So in
mm,
that work experience, do it well and
mm.
use the right choice of words to explain your work experience.
Thank you, Doctor. What you said, I've written it down. I will reconstruct it and package it again and put it on Twitter so that people will understand. Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm really getting too, honestly. Okay, Shula might say, what practical avenues for volunteerism can you recommend? Where can we do volunteer activities? Where?
I see volunteerism is everywhere.
Okay.
In where you place of your religion is one place where you will go to church, mosque. How can I help? And then what can you now do? Because it's not that you just came in to help.
Mhm,
You need to do things that you can put in your CV. I did this, I transformed this, I changed this, I added this, so that when you use those words, they have impact.
mm,
Societies. So in every school you go to, there are societies within the school that you
yeah.
could volunteer towards. There are societies that come out of the disciplines of the schools. For instance, I graduated as a petroleum engineer. There was the Society of Petroleum Engineers. Right from when I was in university, I started volunteering towards the
Mm,
society. By the time I graduated, I continued in the volunteerism.
mm,
And it's not just not just going there and just be counting numbers or be part of the statistics, going there to make a difference.
mm,
Because I can tell you, somebody that wrote my recommendation letter came out of people that I had networked with from volunteerism, and they
mm,
helped to bring a perspective about you that is not shown in your academics, that
mm,
somebody is diligent, that somebody is able to give more than yourself in what you do. Those things, you don't just see them in grades. Okay, but for somebody to say, I worked with this person, I saw this person did this person did that, it's very profound.
mm,
Any avenue, the avenues are everywhere.
mm. Thank
Even
you.
the ones that you can just, somebody has an NGO, go and help them
Okay.
contribute. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me quickly answer this. TOEFL and GRE, if one is to write, which one is preferred? TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language. GRE is general record exam. TOEFL is to test your English speaking ability. GRE is to test your reasoning your ability, your critical thinking, analysis, your English, everything together. Um, GRE is usually required by schools in US. Some do not, based on the course, and some schools in the Middle East. TOEFL and GRE is required by schools in US and some schools in Middle Eastern. But Canada, Australia, and some other countries in Europe, they do not require GRE. I did not use GRE to get a PhD scholarship, and I did electrical engineering. I'm still doing electrical engineering, but I cannot do that in US. It's not possible. I have to have a GRE. So TOEFL is just to test your English. Somebody is also asking TOEFL or IELTS.
Mm-hmm.
TOEFL and IELTS. TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language. It is for American English speaking countries. IELTS is for British speaking English speaking countries. So any of the two. Some people say which one is preferable, which one is not preferable. I always tell people, don't disturb yourself. Go and write one.
Yeah.
The two of them are academics. And some people they will say, I remember when I was writing an exam, somebody said IELTS is much more known than TOEFL and stuff like that. It was later discovered that two of them there is a scam. I've done IELTS, I've done TOEFL. It's scam. Any school that says it needs TOEFL and you have IELTS, just present your IELTS result. They will accept it. Quote me
Yeah.
anywhere. Some people used to dispute that fact, and that's in the investment. Sorry, I spoke pidgin. That's in the investment. Do TOEFL. If you want to do TOEFL and forget it. However, IELTS is divided into two. That's a mistake people make. There is academic IELTS, which is equal to TOEFL, and there is the general IELTS that is used for migration, for
Migration. Yeah.
Canada immigration stuff. Some people say if I write IELTS, I don't need to write again. No, the IELTS you are writing for admission is academic. If you want to migrate, you are writing IELTS general. They look alike, but they are not the same. So let that be very clear. So for academics, write your IELTS or write your TOEFL, any of the above is the same, and then use it. Don't let anybody say which one is better, which one is not better. That I don't like. I hate that kind of discussion. It's the same thing. I've done the two exams, but if you ask me personally, which one is preferred, I'll ask you to write TOEFL because TOEFL, in my opinion, is easier to pass. In my opinion, because the person that will grade your speaking for IELTS is human, and human is always sentimental. The person that will grade your speaking in TOEFL is a machine, and machine has points that it will take that will give you the score. I have people who have issues with IELTS speaking on both for migration and for schooling. I didn't have issues with that, but I have people that I know that are close to me. So if you ask, and TOEFL is easier, to be honest. IELTS, if you miss a paragraph and you're answering and you miss it, that one does not happen in TOEFL. But the two, you can ace the two if you have done GRE. Doctor said it before. If you prepare for GRE for a school in US and you use 5 months to prepare for GRE, TOEFL will be like a piece of cake. That's the truth. You just ace it in 2-3 weeks. That's the truth. So let's just leave down so that we'll not waste time on TOEFL and stuff like that. Bros, I dey see you, Nathaniel Solomon. You say I dey rep LAUTECH. Well, thank you, sir. Okay, doctor, please, what about having low quality journal publications?
It's a publication. It's a starting point.
Okay.
These people are also human beings. They know, first of all, some people will not even know which one is high quality versus low quality.
Mm.
They're not going to turn you down just because it was a low quality journal. That's not what they are looking for. Just they want to know that you are able to put something down. You're able
Mm.
to get information, synthesizing, and write it out.
Mm.
So it's not those are not. If you have a high quality journal, yes, it's very good. It's very exciting. It means, I mean, it shows how versed you are on things related to academics. But if
Mm.
not, it's not a showstopper. That's what
Mm.
I'll just say. The nature of the journal is not a showstopper in this particular case.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Professor Sidis, Dr. Sidis, I'm interested in geothermics and geothermal energy. I have done a research on a topic in this field. Can I reach out to you to ask some questions? If anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Let them find me on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
drop me a message.
Yeah.
I will follow up.
Okay.
I use that avenue to reach out to people and engage.
Okay. So
Yeah.
people, doctor has given you expo. Just copy and paste this name on LinkedIn. You see it. Send the request to her and ask her question. That's very important. Okay.
Yes,
We are
and
leaving
please
next.
don't just send some, just requests like that. If you to expedite the response, just put some context.
Yep.
We
Yep.
watched your whatever or
Yeah.
this, just please, so that it will help me to expedite the response.
Yeah, because some people will just send request and say, hello, hello, doctor. I trust you are fine today. If so, thank God. Some people just send requests and say, I don't respond to that kind of request. Okay, doctor, can I email two professors in the same schools but with different departments? This is because I have two course options. We are rounding up in the next 5 minutes. So, doctor, what do you think?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can apply. You never
Okay.
know which one is going to be interested in you, which one has the funding for what you want to do. You never know. Feel free to email as many professors anywhere as you want. The
Okay.
only thing is, at some point, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to be writing your SOP, and you do not want to sound like somebody who does not know what he or she wants.
Okay.
So, where you're going to put one document, and you need to be consistent. So,
Okay.
in the end, you would have to choose one of them.
Okay. So thank you, doctor. So last question. I think I saw it. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And people are asking for SOP review. My brother, I've done a lot of review. Check my videos on SOP. You should be able to write yours. If anybody is asking for me to review the SOP, the first thing is go check my YouTube channel. I reviewed like 3 SOP live. You will see it live. It's not that I'm talking, you will see it. So that you can use it and you see some of the things I said there. Last question says, hello, Dimon, please, where can I do West evaluation in Lagos? No, West evaluation is not something you do in Lagos. So I beg you. West evaluation is an online thing, and this is the way it works. You will open a profile, go to west.org. Let me read there. ws.org. Once you go to west.org, you open an account, and then from there you contact your school in Nigeria. Your school will send transcript to them. The process is on their website. You will pay your school to send it to them. This the company is in US, and then they will remark your transcript and give you a new transcript. That's an evaluated transcript. You will pay for that. I think it's $205. You can confirm. And then after paying, then they will now send it to you. Now you have an evaluated transcript.
Yeah.
If you now want them to help you send that transcript to any school, you will pay again. So you are paying 3 times. One, for your school to send it to them. Two, for them to remark your transcript. And three, for you to send it to any school. So as you send it to each schools, they charge you for it. That's it. You have to take note of that. Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. We have to release you now. It's almost 2 hours, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any last words for people? Any word of encouragement? And okay, you said they can reach you on LinkedIn. Follow Doctor on Twitter too. She's not a Twitter person. I mean,
No, I'm
what's her
not a
com
Twitter
Twitter?
person. I'm not a
So,
Twitter person.
but she's a LinkedIn person. So,
Because, see, let me tell you, to do this PhD that I did, I had to cut off from so many things.
yeah,
It's just it's a sacrifice.
yeah.
So there are a lot of things you get like, I know that this is my weakness. If I enter Twitter now, I would want to be gisting, be typing. Because I know it's going to impact my time, let me step away. So I don't want to be tempted. Please bear with me.
Mm,
But you can find me on LinkedIn and on
okay,
Instagram as well. But
okay.
for more professional discussions, I will do that on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
I
you.
let me just say
Okay,
one or two things. You see, this
okay.
journey, this
Mm,
journey is um it may seem daunting, but take a first step.
mm,
Don't feel disappointed. Okay, it's human to feel disappointed, but if you start, you do something, you get rejected, or you don't get the kind of scores you're looking for, keep trying. As long as you know that this is really what you want to do and this is what you really have to do. Do not, of course, for people who are married, do not allow it cause friction. In
mm,
the end, all of these things don't matter, whether you did PhD or not,
no,
whether you
no.
did masters or not. It will not matter in the end. The main
Mm,
thing is you just want to be happy. You want to, just live peacefully. Please let it
mm,
not be a cause of problem. And
mm,
at every point in time, please check who you truly are. Do a self evaluation.
mm,
Understand yourself, understand your weaknesses, your strengths, understand your values at every point in time, so that it may just be it's not because A, B, C, D are doing PhD that you have to do it. You can thrive in other areas. So find that thing that makes you tick, that thing that will make you thrive, and see how you can use it to japa. Don't worry, the one will find a way. He will definitely find a way, but understand yourself so that it will make it easier for him to help you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. In fact, personally, I've learned a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm sure we're going to do this sometimes again, maybe by end of this year or next year, where we just pick questions and answers for people. This one, no story. Question and answer, basically.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you. I think the replay of this will be on my YouTube channel. You can always watch anytime. And then next month or next 2 months again, I'm going to bring another person and then we can also learn. Thank you, Doctor, for coming. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it. Doctor,
Thank
I
you
took two
all.
hours of your time. I know say this thing no easy. I know. Doctor,
You
don't
know
worry, we
what we
did.
discussed now. You know what
We
we
did, we did.
discussed. Don't worry.
We did, we did.
All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. All right. All right, bye bye. Bye bye. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, bye.